go back to Game 7 of Warriors-Kings. It was a very interesting game. It was a very interesting series, but the Warriors won this one by 20. Curry had his most aggressive game of his career, and De'Aaron Fox, who'd been so courageous all series, just faded away. What did you think of that?
Well, again, I always think about boxing. How does a champion comport himself? The seventh game is sort of like a championship fight. The seventh game, it's do or die. And a champion comes through. Muhammad Ali came through against Liston and George Foreman, two of the greatest victories in the history of boxing. Stephen Curry was Muhammad Ali. He came through. He, cliche, carried the team on his back, but he really did.
He did what he had to do. He took 38 shots. He wasn't going to let that. He wasn't going to not determine the outcome of that game.
And he did determine it.
He did.
And Fox, who was for the first 6 games a pleasure to watch and did play through a broken finger, God love him, he collapsed in the final game. He couldn't handle. He didn't even want the spotlight. He didn't want it. And it was discouraging to see. And again, boxing, what Curry did, he displayed his character for the whole world.
Correct.
So did Fox.
Yes.
He displayed his character for the whole world, and what a difference it was. So I found that. I mean, I found the whole series interesting, but I found that duo fascinating, especially in Game 7. And Fox is going to have to live with that. Yeah,
you're going to have to live with it. And, he can heal his finger. He can work on his jump shot. He can improve his game, but you can't change your nature. You can't change your character. And I feel like he revealed it. And if I were the Kings and that's your best player, I'd feel like, are we going to win a championship with this guy as our best player? Or maybe he's a stepping stone to us getting our best player. That's the way. I don't think he can't be your best player. You can't have that guy disappearing when it really counts. I mean,
yes, he
5
did.
for 19 in the game. 5 for 19.
Yeah, he disappeared. And at the end, you saw at a certain point he lost confidence and was passing the ball, didn't want to shoot.
Yeah. I mean, can you imagine Steph at a certain point being like, you know what, Jordan, you shoot it, Jordan. I just can't do it anymore.
I can't do it.
I don't have it tonight, Jordan.
Klay Thompson didn't have it. But then in the third quarter, he said, the hell with this. I didn't say, I'm not going to shoot. He was more aggressive.
That's right. No, De'Aaron Fox, he turned into Wiggins down the stretch, like kind of a passive player that's like, hey, bud, take your shot. Klay didn't do that. I mean, Klay had a bad night, but he didn't shy away. Curry definitely didn't shy away. And Fox did. It was very interesting that team looked like they were on the brink of eliminating the Warriors for like a week, and they just didn't have it. I mean, in the crisis moment, they got their butts kicked.
They got their butts kicked. And in the crisis moment, Kerr outcoached Brown.
Big time.
And Curry in the crisis moment, you couldn't come up bigger in a game. He came up as big as anyone has ever come up in the playoffs.
I think it's the first 50-point game in Game 7 history.
Yeah.
I believe. And I thought it was so interesting. Oh, go ahead. Keep going.
No, I want to say, we're going to talk more about Curry in a bit, right?
Yeah,
so I'll skip on that.
Well, you just mentioned Kerr out coaching Mike Brown. I thought it was interesting. The Warriors are a jump shooting team. They shot so many threes in the series, but the way they finally beat the Kings was by driving the hoop and laying it up. I mean, how many layups did they get in Game 7? The Kings couldn't do anything about it. That won the series. That was interesting.
Yeah. I have to say, and I'm an old guy, I hate the 3-point shot. I do. I hate it. Because I hate it especially when early in a possession they cross half court and some schlemiel takes a shot and misses. It seems so wasteful and so uncreative.
Right. That's the best shot you can get. Yeah, run a play.
Pass the goddamn ball. So if I were the king of the world, because I think it hurts basketball, I do, I would say teams, you can shoot the 3, but you only have 10 per half. And you got to use them judiciously. You got to, you'd hold them. If you're down, sort of toward the end of the game, you have 10, maybe you want to save 4. And that's how I would, because I would want to see passing. I wouldn't want to see a center game where you put it into the big guy and it's slow. I wouldn't want to see that anymore. But I'd want to see running and moving and
mid-range
Curry.
shots. At mid-range
shots. Steph Curry is always moving. He's not a lazy guy. Harden, he just stands there and wants a ball, right? But Stephen Curry works his ass off.
Yeah. You know, for a guy who shoots, he shot 18 threes in this game. He doesn't like, I'm going to use the word bastardize the game the way you're talking about. Like, he doesn't just stand at the three-point line and shoot a bunch of threes. Like, he shoots mid-range shots. He shoots layups. He moves. He passes. I mean, you'd have to say Steph Curry plays the game the right way.
He's wonderful. I love to watch him.
And I thought what was so interesting was he goes for 50, shoots 38 points, and you realize, boy, we've watched Stephen Curry for almost 15 years. We've never seen him do anything like that. He doesn't play like that. He's not that kind of a player. And I grew up where the best players thought you had to do that. Kobe, his whole thing was like the Mamba mentality, which was essentially mimicking Jordan. And Jordan just took a million shots. Curry is much more of a team player, I think, than those guys were, in my opinion, which is why I like him so much. I appreciate his game.
I prefer him to those two.